Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. National products shine in Vienna Health Food Expo. Algerian goods draw attention for their quality and competitiveness at the International Health Food Exhibition in Austria. New graduation ceremonies from the National Military Health School in the 1st Military Region and the Higher School of Armored Corps in the 5th Military Region. In the Middle East, updates on the development of the ongoing Zionist aggression on Iran as the Iranian missiles strike sensitive targets in the occupied territories. Welcome back. We kick off with tonight's top story as the Prime Minister Nadir al-Arbawi presided on Wednesday a government meeting devoted to examining the draft bill related to the prevention and the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing, in the framework of the efforts to continuously adapt the national regulatory framework to Algeria's international commitments. Furthermore, the government reviewed a preliminary bill on the protection of individuals and the processing of personal data and continued its review of the regulatory framework, establishing the conditions and modalities for concessions convertible into transfers of land belonging to the private domain of the state intended for the realization of commercial real estate development projects. The government also listened to a presentation on the preliminary results of the National Production Census, an exercise that will help guide trade and industrial policies according to strategic vision. The Minister of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, received a phone call from the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates of the Brotherly Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, Ayman Safadi. During the call, the two ministers exchanged views and analyses regarding the repercussions of the ongoing Israeli aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran. They expressed deep concern over the dangerous escalation unfolding in the region. Both ministers reiterated their condemnation of the aggression and called on the United Nations Security Council to take urgent action in line with its responsibilities. The call was also an opportunity to coordinate between the two countries ahead of the emergency session of the Islamic Cooperation Organization regarding the development in the Middle East, which is to be scheduled on June 21st in Istanbul. The Minister of State of Foreign Affairs, the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, also received a phone call from the Minister of European and International Affairs of the Republic of Austria, Beit Mainal Reisner. This exchange was an opportunity to review the state and perspectives of bilateral relations between Algeria and Austria. Both parties examined their satisfaction regarding the positive results in the traditional cooperation fields, notably in railway construction and the energy sector in all its forms, be it traditional or renewable, with a special attention to green hydrogen. Both ministers also agreed on reinforcing bilateral cooperation to expand it to new priority sectors for the development of both countries, such as mechanic industries and hydraulic resources. Similarly, the two officials exchanged points of view and analysis on the current situation in the South Sahara region and in the Middle East, as well as the international level. They stressed the necessity to revive the role of diplomacy in the resolution of crisis and reinforcing joint coordination to share of experience, notably in the framework of the preparation for the adhesion of Austria to the Security Council. While taking part in the proceedings of the second day of the Africa Energy Forum 2025 held in Cape Town, South Africa, the Secretary of State to the Minister of Energy in charge of renewable energies, Noordin Yessa, showcased the comprehensive national strategy to develop renewable energies, shedding light on the ambitious objectives that Algeria aims to achieve, reiterating the strategic role of Algeria as a main actor in African energy transition. Yessa held several meetings with African and international officials, where he met with the Minister of Energy and Electricity Development, Bazimbabwe Jolly Moyo. He also met with the African Union Commissioner for Basic Infrastructure and Energy, Lerato Dorthos Mataboki. In other news, a new class of graduates was honored at the National Military Health School, Shahid Qadi Bekir, in a ceremony blending military tradition, academic excellence, and tribute to national heroes. Selila Balaman has more. أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي والمخلد خالد الشهداء إلى الأمجاد.
At the National Military Health School Shahid Qadi Bkir, an institution renowned for its commitment to training and excellence in military healthcare, a new cohort of graduates has officially completed their studies. The graduation ceremony began with a formal inspection of the assembled units by Major General Saleh bin Bisha, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, accompanied by Major General Mohammed Bashir Swede, Director of Military Healthcare Services. The school's commander then took the podium to deliver a speech highlighting the core elements of the students' training, both academic and military. He commended the unwavering support of the High Command of the People's National Army, which has ensured access to cutting-edge teaching methods and the necessary resources for providing top-tier professional education.
أيها المتخرجون، أوصيكم بالتفاني.
Dear graduates, I urge you to serve with dedication, to embody the highest ethical standards of both medicine and military service, to carry a deep and genuine patriotism, and to remain guided by the noble principles of humanity. I also call on you to strictly follow all instructions and directives issued by the High Command.
هدفا ساميا لا تحيدون عليه.
أن أكون صالحا في سلوكي.
Following the traditional oath taken by the graduating class, ranks and diplomas were presented to the top performing students. The event continued with the symbolic passing of the flag from the outgoing class to the incoming one. The top graduate of the outgoing cohort stepped forward to request that the promotion be named in honor of the Shahid Zikara Mulud, a hero of the glorious revolution. The ceremony concluded with a perfectly synchronized military parade performed by the graduating students. To close the event, the Secretary General at the Ministry of Defense paid tribute to the family of the fallen hero Zikara Mulud in recognition of the sacrifices of the nation's martyrs and signed the school's guest book.
Similarly, the Higher School of Armored Corps Shahid Muhammad Qadri in Wad Sha'ba Betna. 7 new classes graduated during a ceremony presided over by Major General Nuruddin Hambali, commander of the 5th Military Region. Min al-Ma'afa with the full story.
The Higher School of Armored Corps Shahid Muhammad Qadri in Batna, part of the 5th Military Region, is a training institution that annually graduates top specialists in armored warfare. The graduation ceremony for 7 classes began with an inspection of the assembled units by Major General Nuruddin Hambali, commander of the 5th Military Region. The graduates received military, scientific and practical training using modern teaching methods, preparing them to carry out their duties with professionalism.
Dear graduates, having completed your scientific and practical training, it is now up to you to uphold and enhance the reputation of this institution. We trust that your performance in the field will inspire the school to reach new heights and further support the goals of military training.
حافز مهم لهذه المدرسة لكي تبلغ مستويات أفضل وتساهم في تحقيق الأهداف المرجوة من المنظومة التكوينية العسكرية.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي.
After the oath was taken, diplomas were awarded and ranks referred to the top graduates of the classes, which also included students from brotherly and friendly nations. The ceremony continued with the handing over of the flag between the graduating class and the incoming one. Afterwards, the commander of the 5th Military Region approved naming the graduating class after the martyr Shtara Muhammad.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم الشهيد البطل شطار محمد.
موافق.
The graduating classes showcased their combat readiness through demonstrations in Koksul and Karatido. The graduation ceremony concluded with a military parade performed by the graduates to the rhythm of military music. Afterwards, the commander of the 5th Military Region toured the open house of the Higher School of the Armored Corps. The event ended with a tribute to the family of martyr Shtara Muhammad, after whom the graduating class is named, followed by the signing of the school's guest book.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي وأن أخلد تقاليد الشهداء إلى الأمجاد.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم المجاهد المشهور
And coming up in our news edition, we continue to monitor the escalating situation in the Middle East, where Iran launched a series of intense missiles attacks on the Zionist entity, targeting sensitive sites, including an airbase in northern occupied Palestine. Stay with us to unfold the details. Welcome back. Economic diplomacy is a key lever for accessing global markets, diversifying trade partners, and promoting the quality of national products. Algerian companies proved this at the International Health Food Expo in Vienna, showcasing their competitiveness on the world stage. Salila Balaman, once again.
Algeria's pavilion shines in the heart of Europe, offering a vivid showcase of the country's diverse agri-food production. With a strong focus on quality and variety, Algerian products are proven they are more than ready to take on global markets.
I tasted Algerian olive oil and found its flavor absolutely amazing. It is the first time I have experienced this kind of olive oil. This pavilion has incredible products. In Slovenia, some vegetables are simply not available this season, but Algeria seems to have them all year round. It is very impressive.
The presence of Algeria's leading agribusinesses and major economic operators reflects a clear strategic vision, one shaped by high-level directives aimed at elevating the Made in Algeria brand on the international stage, particularly in the field of food processing industries.
We have agricultural participants whose organic products align perfectly with the theme of this exhibition. We are presenting organic degletnor dates, organic saffron, and organic olive oil.
عندنا حنايا دجلتنور بيو، عندنا الصافران بيو، عندنا زيت زيتون بيو.
احنا متواجدين يعني بالخضر والفواكه الجزائرية.
We are representing Algerian fruits and vegetables, all grown in Biskra in southern Algeria. The visitor turnout has been excellent.
من طرف الزوار.
Algeria's involvement in this key economic event is a strategic move to highlight its export potential and the growing role of economic diplomacy, an effort geared towards diversifying partnerships and securing a sustainable, confident entry into global markets.
On to the operational report of the People's National Army's activity in the past week. In the context of the fight against terrorism, detachments of the PNA arrested 9 support elements to terrorist groups in different operations across the national territory. In the framework of the fight against organized crime and the continuation of the tireless efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the PNA intercepted, in coordination with the different security services in operations across the military regions, 50 drug traffickers and averted attempts to introduce 3 quintals and 41 kilograms of processed keef through the borders with Morocco, while 91 kilograms of cocaine and huge amounts of around 1,453,577 psychotropic tablets were seized during separate operations across the military regions. In Terminal Borjoji Mukhtar Inkazam in Saleh, detachments of the People's National Army arrested 216 individuals and seized 42 vehicles, 143 generators, 84 jackhammers, as well as quantities of mixture of raw gold and stones, explosives, detonation tools, and other equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. On the other hand, 14 other individuals were arrested, one machine gun, a sniper rifle, a hunting rifle, over 24,000 liters of fuel, as well as 9 quintals of tobacco and 5 tons of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation were also seized during separate operations. Similarly, border gold sorted at the level of our national coast, attempts at illegal immigration, proceeded to save 102 individuals aboard traditionally made boats, while 908 illegal immigrants of different nationalities were arrested across the national territory and communique. In the Middle East, Iran launched a series of intense missiles attacks on the Zionist entity, targeting sensitive sites, including an airbase in northern occupied Palestine. In response, the Zionist entity struck a missile development center east of the Iranian capital, Tehran. The latest developments with Min al-Ma'afo.
Iran does not bargain with the Zionists. With this firm tone, Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei responded to the recent aggression, not with a passing statement, but as a signal of sustained missile strikes launched under the name The True Promise, the title Tehran chose for its new campaign. This marks the utmost significant direct escalation between the two sides in decades. Iranian missiles crossed borders with precision, targeting shadowy assassination command centers and intelligence facilities deep inside the Zionist territory. The Zionist entity, reeling from heavy losses and operational confusion, found itself for the first time facing a conventional, open confrontation without intermediaries or cover. In response, as usual, the Zionist entity reacted outside the bounds of any wartime ethics, carrying out direct attacks on civilian infrastructure, launching intense cyber attacks, and attempting to cause digital chaos at the heart of Tehran. And amid this escalation, global capitals took divergent stances. Washington warned it may intervene if Iran strikes its regional military bases. Moscow described the events as a dangerous settling of scores orchestrated from outside the region. Beijing raised its voice, warning of the risk of a full-scale regional war. Is it becoming clear that this is more than just a heated confrontation between Tehran and the Zionist entity? The situation is wide open to major developments, and the world is watching, bracing for the next round.
In Gaza, at least 144 martyrs killed in the past 24 hours and 560 are wounded, including those awaiting aid. For its part, the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, indicated that 45% of the vital aid for Gaza has been exhausted due to the blockade imposed by the Zionist occupation as part of the genocidal war on Gaza. A meeting was held today entitled The Black Robes and the Revolution, the Pleas of Freedom by Lawyers Still Relevant, initiated by the International Association of Friends of the Algerian Revolution in the presence of the Minister of Mujahideen and Rights holders Laider Biga. On the occasion, lawyers from the National Liberation Front, defenders of activists for the Algerian cause during the War of National Liberation, were honored in tribute to their courage. The female icon Jamila Boupasha received a special tribute from the Minister of Mujahideen. And with that, we end tonight's bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.